like it. And LB, we haven't actually spoke much this summer. I know you've been really busy moving house. What have you felt about Man United's approach so far to this window?
You're moving like a proper football club again. I said it, man. When this guy came in, yeah, Jim Radcliffe and that, I called it straight away, man. I said, I think you're gonna start yourselves out. You know what I mean? Now there'll be mistakes. There'll still be some ups and downs, but in my opinion, like from just listening to the guy, you could just tell he knows what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, as much as it pains me to say it, I do think you're probably moving in the right direction. Now, as we've discussed many times, fortunately for me and unfortunately for you, your club has been run so badly over the last decade or so that it's going to take more than one or two windows to sort this mess out. And you know, I don't see you, in my opinion, challenging for the title for at least another 2 to 3 years. But you can clearly see, yeah, unless you got your eyes closed, that United are starting to move like a proper club. You know what I mean? Starting to make signings that you go, oh yeah, that's actually a decent signing. You know, starting to build a squad and that. So the big question mark for me is still around the manager. I'm going to be real with you, yeah, because I still think this manager's a fraud. You know what I mean? So that's the big one for me. And obviously they've decided to stay with him. You know, let's see how it gets on this season, but it don't really matter in terms of like the short term. You've got that question to answer about the manager, but in the medium to long term, I think United, unfortunately, are going to start making the right moves because I just think, you know, I just knew soon as he come in, yeah, this guy and started appointing all these people in the positions, I was like, this guy's switched on. You know what I mean? He's not like the Bowley fella at Chelsea, right? Who went in and thought, oh, I'm going to do everything. You know, I know what I'm doing. I'm the big I am and that, and started. You know, he was on TV every day. You know what I mean? Speaking a load of nonsense, waffling, starting to tell us about how he's doing all this data AI stuff with his. And he's like, "What are you doing, mate? You know, I don't know what you do." This guy came in and went, "I'm appointing him. I'm putting him in charge. They're going to run the football club." And I thought, you know what? He knows what he's doing, man. So yeah, like I said, I still think it's going to be a couple of years until you're back fighting for a league, but I do think that you're probably on the upwards trajectory now. It's just a manager's thing you've got to overcome because we don't truly know if that's still the right guy, you know.
No, I get that. It's a fair challenge. Even watching the message that Sir Jim sent to Shaw at the weekend, good luck, please don't pull your hamstring again. I saw some Man United fans say it really isn't a joke, you know, your boss making a joke like that. And I thought, no, I think in the real world with normal people, that's a completely acceptable joke to make. I know we live in a world now where you get a lot of hypersensitive employees who can't take jokes. Banter's not allowed. Jokes are banned. You go to, you know, you'll be sent to Azkaban if you laugh at something. But I think it just shows the human side to him. One of the biggest complaints of the Glazers is that they were never vocal, never around, had no relationship with anybody at the club. You then suddenly have someone that's building relationships. He clearly has built up a rapport with these players to say it. Because I think if he hadn't met Shaw, hadn't met the players, wasn't involved, I don't think he says that. Because you'd end up saying something. If you're going to make a joke like that, you've kind of got to know people. And I think that he obviously does. And it's good signs. But my message to Man United fans is it's a good start. But we actually have to keep the pressure on the new owners and everybody to keep moving in this direction. It's funny because the typical haters in the comment section, where some people saying, "Oh, are you overpaying for players, Terry? Why are you celebrating? Overpaying for what? We just put Xerxes on £56,000 a year. Tell me the last time we signed a player, 23 years of age, to come in to be one of our main attackers and gave him 56,000 a week in salary. Now, to all of us, that's a lot of money. I'd love it, but I'll make this claim with such an air of confidence. If Woodward was doing that deal, he'd be on 180, 200 grand a week. And I think that sometimes it's nice to see that we're going, do you know what? Put you on 56. There's some bonuses in there. You want to get to 100, 150? Perform and score goals. The amount of players that joined Man United and essentially they were given the keys to the city the day they arrived. 250 grand a week. Doesn't even matter if you don't score or perform. 5-year deal. You're the star. Bloated approach. And I just all these little nuances I like. This is an interesting comment. I want to get your opinion on this, boys. It says, why are Man United begging Euro to join? Where is their pride? That's embarrassing fans and fostering a weak mentality. He says, why overpay? I mean, we're not overpaying for him, but I've seen a lot of rivals say that Man United are embarrassing the football club by trying to convince Lenny Yoro to join them and not Real Madrid.
No, that doesn't make any sense for me. Trying to have ambition to get your best players at the club is a madness to believe that is the wrong mentality to have. Now, don't get me wrong, he might have his heart set on Real Madrid, and if the two clubs come knocking that have been accepted by, he's going to go Real Madrid. We've said that earlier, right? I think everyone can understand that he's going to go to Real Madrid if they come knocking. But for Manchester United to put themselves and go for that ambition, I think is absolutely what you should be doing. Manchester United need to get there. There's no point Manchester United going, right, we're not that club anymore. Let's try and get mediocre players, try and scrape into the top four, and then we'll have another pop it in next time. They've got to go and do it now. So that's why they're going for the Delicts and they're going for the Lenny Euros. They're being linked with Ugarte. I think it's the right thing to do. I think the Joshua Zirkzee one, I think the jury's still out. I've no idea what the player's like. I don't know if that's something you'll look at and go, wow, or you'll look at like Horton and go, not still sure, but looks okay. I don't know. But to say that it's embarrassing, I don't really get that. And I'm an Arsenal fan. I'd love for Man United to be embarrassing. And they have been for the best part of, since Fergie's gone at times. But let's be real, the way they're moving at the moment, they're the only team at the moment that you can talk about in the transfer market because they're going around. And what I like about it, and I would like about it if I was a Man United fan, is you're not just spending all your time on Lenny Yoro here. You're going for 2 or 3 other options. So you know that you've got a plan A, plan B, plan C. You're going to get a couple of centre-backs this window. You're going to, because you need a couple of centre-backs. Let's be real, with Maguire and Evans and Lindelof all potentially leaving, you're going to have to, and Varane going, you're going to have to go and get a couple of centre-halves in. So I think that's where it is, man. I think that's where it is. And they've been laughable for the last few. So let's see what they're like. Let's see what they're like now in the transfer window. Only on weekends, don't tell him. Man.
I know.
We
shouldn't reveal that we do that. It's so funny. Like, it's so funny. Like, you know, we've been doing the show together for about 7-8 months now, boys, and we've all criticised Man United a lot on here when it's been right. Suddenly, Man United get a little bit of praise for just they're operating well, and some people can't handle it online. It's like, I can't believe it. Terry must be paying them. You're all my shrills. You're being paid by me to speak nicely about Man United. It's crazy that trying to convince talent to join your club is now embarrassing. Do you know what's really funny about it as well? This just shows how bad PR has been for football. That clubs and via the media have, and some of the tier 1 journalists who everybody hangs on, have made people convinced that, because every time a player signs for a club, you very typically speaking, you get that kind of that plethora of stories that says the player only wanted X club. So right, their biggest local or the biggest national rival was also interested, but they said no to them for them. But the same story for nearly every player at every club. So fans have now almost been sort of had their heads turned into this notion of, well, I only want to sign a player that only wants to play for my club. But you do realize these are professional football players. They don't think like fans. They don't behave like fans. And this is not a dig at City, but do we really think half these City players grew up as kids wanting to play for City before they were at the top peak of their powers? Even Arsenal, who have been a bigger club than City in terms of historically, do you think some of these players now in the Arsenal team, even 5 years ago, would have seen Arsenal as their number 1 destination? No, but that's not how professional football even works. And it goes the other way as well. Jurgen Klopp didn't want Mo Salah and Mane. Did that mean they're not, that the club shouldn't have bought them because the manager didn't really want them? It's weird to me. It's honestly weird to me that we've sort of seen fans sort of being indoctrinated to believe that unless a player publicly states he only wants my club, I don't want him. It's weird. Very weird. Very weird behavior, personally. But that's just me. Yeah, but I hope it works out, and we'll see whether this story